Now, Ralph Nelson Elliott discovered the wave principle, I believe, back in the 1930s, and it is, again, a very powerful form of market forecasting, especially when you apply the technique correctly. There's a lot of practitioners out there, unfortunately, that do not practice the technique correctly, and you can tell. But bottom line, if you follow the wave principle and you really want to integrate it into your, say, trading style, forecasting style, market analysis style, then I strongly encourage you to, again, adhere to the rules and guidelines of the Elliott Wave Principle. And there's no other better book than the Elliott Wave Principle, written by A.J. Frost and Robert Prechter. That's still the go-to, okay? So if you want to learn about that wave principle, this is the book. There's no other better book out there, in my opinion. I've been doing this for over 30 years now, that explains the nuances and the application of the Elliott Wave Principle. But there is a drawback to the book, and that is it does not take the step in evolution in explaining how to take the wave principle from a market forecasting tool to a trading tool, a trading technique. And this is where my book comes into play. My book, the title is The Visual Guide to Elliott Wave Training, written by Wayne Gorman and myself. So what we do with my book, The Visual Guide to Elliott Wave Training, is we take the next step, because whenever Ralph Nelson Elliott developed the wave principle, again, back in the 1930s, he did so as a forecasting tool, not as a trading tool. So at some point, if we're going to be utilizing a tool, we want to take the next step in its evolution. It's like, okay, hey, that's great. I love MACD. MACD's great, but how do I trade it? Or candlesticks. Candlestick analysis is powerful. You know how big of a fan I am of Japanese candlestick analysis. But how do we trade it? How do we put it into action? And again, that's what my book. So the two books together are great companion books. The Elliott Wave Principle, written by A.J. Frost and Robert Prechter, gives you the solid foundation you need to be a competent Elliott Wave practitioner. And then my book, The Visual Guide to Elliott Wave Training, takes you to the next level on how to apply it from not only a market forecasting perspective, but implement it from a trading perspective. So that's what we're going to be doing today, tomorrow, and probably into next week, because I'm going to go and walk you through each individual pattern and how to trade it, okay? So within an 8-wave cycle, there are 4 primary trading opportunities. Now, what do you think is my favorite, okay? Well, my favorite, believe it or not, it's not wave 2, and it's certainly not this one here. I'm not a fan of picking tops or bottoms, and I don't particularly like this one as well. My favorite trade setup is the 4th wave pullback, because if you have a 1, 2, 3, and wave 3 is just clearly defined, you have the acceleration gap in wave 3 of 3, wave 3's traveled a 2 or 2.618 multiple, then it's just really a game of patience. You wait for the pullback in wave 4 and you buy it. So this position here, it may not be the, say, position that gives you the greatest return, but in my opinion, it does give you the highest probability of success, because remember, truncated waves, that occurrence whenever a wave that should make a new price extreme is unable to do so, is a very rare event. So even though I'm going to be looking, say, to make less on this 5th wave move than I would on wave 3, the probability of success of this being a profitable position is much, much higher, because early on back here, you still don't know if this is a wave 1 or in 2, or this is A, B, and C. Nothing's more frustrating than being in a wave C advance, thinking that it's actually wave 3, only to be proven incorrect.